Coming up, surprising facts about Godzilla, king of monsters. As we get near to the 70th anniversary of the launch of Godzilla, get ready for some Godzilla facts that will totally change how you see the king of monsters. Like the fact that the original Godzilla movie was inspired by a real-life disaster. Or that hilarious way that Toho knocked an American movie and said, "That's not our Godzilla." Or the fact that there is a secret group who decide how Godzilla is going to act in the next movie, whether it's from Japan or it's from Hollywood. These and more Godzilla facts will totally change how you see the king of monsters on this episode of Monster Complex.
Monster Complex.
I'm Chris Well from Monster Complex, and this time I'm revealing some secrets and lesser-known facts about everyone's favorite giant monster. One of the most well-known creatures in the world, the Japanese giant monster Godzilla is like a nuclear-powered dinosaur that made his debut in the 1950s. More on his name in a minute. Let's start by exploring Godzilla's origin. Godzilla was inspired by other monsters and by real life. Did you know this colossal creature was inspired by a real-life tragedy? In March 1954, there was a real-life incident on a Japanese tuna fishing boat when a crew of 23 people were affected by the nuclear fallout from a weapons test at Bikini Atoll. Later that same year, on November 3rd, 1954, the movie Gojira had its official theatrical release in Japan. The film's opening moments are a direct reference to what happened to that tuna boat crew in real life. Now, the reason that movie studio Toho was inspired to make a monster movie was because of two other movies that had recently come out. In 1952, the re-release of the classic 1933 movie King Kong made big bucks at the box office. Then there was the big debut of 1953 movie The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which was the first live-action film to show a giant monster following the blast of an atomic bomb. The 1954 movie Gojira was helmed by director Ishiro Honda and special effects master Eiji Tsuburaya. The movie was filled with details that spoke directly to the Japanese audience sitting in the theaters, many of whom had lived through the recent terrors of World War II and subsequent events. Now, if you have seen that movie, then you know that the studio clearly had no intention of bringing back the monster, but of course they did, lots of times. Godzilla isn't just a big monster. He's a big deal. As Toho has continued to make Godzilla movies, over the decades they have made an even bigger splash. More than just speaking to the Japanese audience, Godzilla's relevance has also grown to touch the hearts of people around the world. In the decades since his debut, Godzilla has become one of the biggest brands ever, appearing in dozens of movies, TV shows, novels, comic books, video games, and lots more stuff. According to the Guinness World Records, the Godzilla movies are the, quote, longest continuously running film franchise. Now, there have been close to 40 Godzilla movies, including both those from Toho in Japan, plus those made in Hollywood. In fact, we just saw two more movies, one from Japan and one from Hollywood, hit theaters within a matter of months of each other. Godzilla has also appeared in, been referenced by, and even made fun of a bunch of times in other movies, cartoons, books, TV, games, and theme park attractions. Godzilla got an MTV Lifetime Achievement Award in 1996. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2004. He was voted the most popular movie monster in the Monster Times poll in 1973, beating Dracula, King Kong, the Wolfman, the Mummy, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Frankenstein's monster. Steven Spielberg says that old Godzilla movies, especially 1956's Godzilla King of the Monsters, were among his inspirations when directing the 1993 movie Jurassic Park. Spielberg called Godzilla, quote, the most masterful of all dinosaur movies because it made you believe it was really happening, end quote. But here's one of the most mind-blowing facts about Godzilla. Did you know that Godzilla was granted Japanese citizenship in 2015? A ward of Tokyo named Godzilla a special resident and official tourism ambassador. The mayor said, quote, "Godzilla is a character that is the pride of Japan," end quote. That's right, this fictional monster was officially recognized as a cultural ambassador. Why he is called Godzilla, even though that's not actually his name. A couple of interesting questions about the big monster are, what is his actual name? And where does the name Godzilla come from? First of all, he was created in Japan, and the Japanese actually know him by the name Gojira. That word is actually a combination of the Japanese words for gorilla and whale. When Toho Studios repackaged the movie Gojira for overseas distribution, they changed the monster's name to Godzilla to make it easier for American audiences to understand. The first time the name Godzilla was used in English was printed in the Hawaii Tribune Herald on November 20, 1955. In fact, one of the moments in the 1998 movie, Made in Hollywood, is that the monster in the movie is actually called Godzilla by mistake. We're going to talk about that movie and the actual name of that monster in a bit. Why Godzilla is sometimes a hero, sometimes the bad guy, but always a force of nature. The first Godzilla movie is full of relevant political and social undertones relevant to audiences in Japan at the time. And in that movie, the creature was obviously all about destruction. But in the years since then, and lots more appearances in the media, Godzilla has played different roles again and again. Over the course of dozens of movies and other media appearances, one of the unique traits for Godzilla has been that he sometimes seems to be the good guy, like 2024's Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, sometimes the bad guy, like 2023's Godzilla -1, or sometimes even an anti-hero, like 1964's Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. The reason that Godzilla so often turns in different directions, and humans still have to get out of the way, is that Godzilla is actually a force of nature, like a hurricane or a tornado. No matter his intentions, he will always be a danger to those in the way, because he's just part of the bigger picture. Now, a big part of that is how Toho sees the monster and has set up the rules. In fact, they stepped up in 2016 to actually create a Godzilla room, where a team of 14 people keep their eyes on the Godzilla brand to make sure that nobody messes it up. The people who meet in the Godzilla room actually researched all the previous Godzilla movies and came up with a set of official rules for future Godzilla projects and merchandise. And they figured out the logic that sometimes Godzilla is a danger, and sometimes Godzilla is saving us, which is why Godzilla -1 and Godzilla x Kong both fit the bigger picture. Godzilla has met up with lots of crossovers, including some pretty weird ones. Godzilla's impact on pop culture has led to lots of people wanting him to come play in their sandbox. Of course, the most famous example is the times that Godzilla has crossed paths with King Kong. These crossovers also include the 1969 short Bambi Meets Godzilla. Godzilla has also spent time in the Marvel Comics universe, where he met the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. While I was editing this video, Marvel announced that Godzilla will also show up on a bunch of variant comic book covers. And in the DC Comics universe, he and Kong met the Justice League. And the IDW comic book people had Godzilla meet the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers twice. Godzilla has also shown up in ads, like that Nike commercial where Godzilla played one-on-one basketball with Charles Barkley. Godzilla was also in a Snickers candy bar ad, which also promoted one of the Godzilla movies. Versions of Godzilla have shown up multiple times on The Simpsons and on Robot Chicken. On the sitcom Roseanne, apparently a Godzilla action figure was there throughout the sitcom's entire original run. And another version of Godzilla showed up in the Christmas TV special Olive the Other Reindeer. On the Ultraman show, a character that looked a lot like Godzilla showed up in the first season, because the man who created the original costume for Toho was also making the Ultraman show. So they were reusing the actual Godzilla costume. Before I reveal the final secret, In the comments below, let us know your favorite thing about Godzilla, whether it's your favorite movies or TV shows or even those fun crossovers. What are your favorite appearances of Godzilla? Share your favorite Godzilla facts in the comments below. Also, if you want more info about Godzilla and other classic monsters, check out the links in the description for this video. I'm sharing links to several fun articles on Monster Complex. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Godzilla's world, make sure to subscribe for more intriguing videos about popular monsters. Which brings us to what I consider one of the funniest Godzilla facts of all. Toho says that 1998 monster is not Godzilla. For more than 25 years, Hollywood's 1998 movie titled Godzilla has been complained about by lots of Godzilla fans, including those who work at Toho. Now, to be fair, I don't hate this movie, but the movie only works on its own terms, and if you realize that monster is not actually Godzilla, which is why it's great that Toho helped us out there. In the 2001 Japanese movie with the really long title that I just called GMK, and this, by the way, is one of my favorite Godzilla movies, there was actually a line in GMK where it's mentioned that a monster that attacked New York was called Godzilla by mistake. That alone was pretty funny. But then Toho took that idea to the whole next level with 2004's Godzilla Final Wars, which is also one of my favorite Godzilla movies. Now, in Final Wars, which is a love letter to classic Godzilla films from the 1960s and 1970s, it is chock full of monsters that showed up in those movies. And then in one surprising and amazingly short scene, Godzilla is set up to fight that Hollywood monster, you know, from that 1998 movie. Or it was just a giant lizard, who is now officially named Zilla. One reason Final Wars is so great is that it pretends for a moment that this fight is going to be a big deal. And then it's just over. Having that licensed rock song as part of the moment just makes it even funnier. If you want to check out more interesting facts about classic monsters, take a look at one of these.